Are you looking for more cheap recipes for a really tight budget? What's clucking, peeps? I'm Georgiana, and this chicken with us today is Hagatha. We're back with another Eat Like a Peasant episode featuring potatoes today. I have 3 super affordable recipes loaded with flavor. And stay tuned until the end. The third one is my favorite. It is so yummy. So let's get cooking. You ready, Hagatha? So cute. Okay, our first recipe today is going to be creamy Dijon Caesar potatoes. I started with 3 gold potatoes. You could do 4. 2 of these were quite large, especially one of them. So I decided to do only 3 for this small casserole that I'm making. But you could use 4 potatoes if you'd like. I washed these, scrubbed them really good so we could leave the skin on to get that extra nutrition. And put them in an 8x8 casserole dish. And for the sauce we're going to make, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of creamy Caesar dressing. And with that, we're also going to add 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. To that, we're going to add a half a cup of water to thin it out and make a sauce for the potatoes to absorb when it cooks. Add a little bit of garlic salt. I did about half a teaspoon. And add pepper to taste. Then add some dried parsley, about a tablespoon worth. Whisk that all together. And then pour your sauce over the potatoes. And then give them a good mix. Yes, mix until everything is evenly coated. Okay, and now you're going to cover them with some foil. And we're going to bake these at 400 degrees for about 60 minutes. Depending on how thick they are, you might need to go a little longer. And this is what they look like when they're all done. These are so simple but yummy and tasty. And they look really pretty. Makes a great lunch or side dish. Especially if you add a little vegetable on the side. Or protein. Whatever you choose. But enjoy. They're yummy. For our second recipe, I'm going to be using 4 red potatoes. And these again are washed and scrubbed really good so we can keep the skin on. That extra nutrition. We're going to go ahead and dice these up into bite-sized chunks. Once you've done that, put them on I put a foil-lined cookie sheet that's sprayed with a little bit of cooking spray. Add your potatoes. And I'm going to kind of put them in a pile so we can add our seasonings. For this, I'm going to use up I've got this Kentucky bourbon barbecue rub. If you have any sort of barbecue seasoning, that's what I would suggest using, but you don't need it. Seasoned salt and pepper would be really good, or if you just have plain salt and pepper. And I also added onion powder because I really like that as well. So go ahead and give it a good mix. I did forget to spray with a little bit of oil to begin with, but it still worked afterwards. So I gave it a spritz with my little spritzer. I've got avocado oil in there. You can have olive oil or vegetable oil. And these we're going to go ahead and bake at 400 degrees for 25 minutes. And they start to get a little crispy. Then when they come out, I'm going to kind of put them in a pile. And we're going to add a little bit of corn to this, about half a cup. And I'm using thawed frozen corn. And then from there, we're going to add some barbecue sauce of your choice. We don't want to soak it, just drizzle it around the top. You just want to get a nice coating of barbecue sauce on there. This Kraft barbecue sauce is usually quite affordable. You can even get it at the dollar store for $1.25. So go ahead and give this a good mix and stir it up. so everything gets coated with some of your barbecue sauce. And then spread it out a little bit. We're going to throw this back in the oven under the broiler for about 3 to 5 minutes until it gets a little caramelized. And this is what it looks like. Comes out sizzling hot and yummy. And this makes a great lunch or a side dish. You could pair this with any protein of your choice also. Enjoy, it's delicious. We really enjoyed this. Our third recipe is going to be potato biscuits. And we're going to start with 2 potatoes that I've peeled and cooked down to the really nice and tender, and mashed those up with just a little bit of butter. I cooked them in salted water. That makes a little difference. You don't have to worry about adding too much salt later on. So for there, you're going to take a cup of the mashed potatoes and put them in a mixing bowl and add a cup of flour. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And about a half a teaspoon of salt. And from there, we're going to add a half a cup of milk. And mix it just till it gets combined. You don't want to overmix it. Okay, then we're going to put some flour down and get our dough out onto the counter. And now we're going to knead the dough just about 10 to 12 times, just to get it well combined. And like I was saying before, I wanted to make these scone shaped. I think it's quicker and easier instead of making your traditional biscuit rounds, because you don't have to worry about the extras and then redoing it and stuff. So just shape this into a rectangle, and it's about a ½ inch thick. We're going to cut it into 8 pieces. You're going to bake these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. Okay, they just came out of the oven. I think these look great. You could do them a little bit darker if you like. In our house, we don't really like things too crispy when it comes to breads. And you don't want to overcook them and have them get too dry. But I think they look good. I'm going to go ahead and taste test one. Yeah, let's see if I break it in front of you there. Oh, that looks good. Get a good shot of that there. Hot. Oh my gosh, that's good. You're really gonna have to try these. This is very good. So fluffy and tender and delicious. Give it a try.